Hey folks, my name is Rojo, and welcome to Sword Coast Legends. Sword Coast Legends is a D&D sort of isometric dungeon crawling RPG, sort of like a reboot in a sense of the old school isometric games, thinking, you know, Baldur's Gate, that kind of thing. A little bit more modern touch, in my opinion, and it's all based on 5th edition rules, which I'm not terribly familiar with. I haven't played any 5th edition myself. I've done 3rd and 4th, though, and 2nd even. But the game has kind of a strong online component as well, which is pretty interesting. As well as some nice, like, randomly generated dungeons and that kind of thing. Now, this is the Head Start version of the game, which you can get by pre-ordering and linking up your account with the Sword Coast Legends website. And they have a few different events that they're going to be doing until the game's released, which I believe is on October 20th, 2015 here. But, yeah, let's go ahead and make a character. That's what we're going to be doing in this video. And I've made a few different characters to mess around already. But we'll go ahead and make a new guy here. And, what was I going to say? I'm hoping to get some online play in this little mini series here. You know, I'm not sure I'm going to do a full series on the game or not, but I got the game and I got a hankering to do some recording, so I figured why not show off a little bit of this. So we might do a few videos of this over the course of the Head Start. But anyway, I'm clicking around for no particular reason. Here we go. So we're going to make a character. There are not a lot of classes, in my opinion. Not a lot of races either. But this also isn't the full version of the game since it's Head Start. Like the main quest isn't in or anything like that. I don't think there are going to be any more classes or races, but I could be wrong about that. However, let's see what we got. I actually think that I want to make a paladin. I think paladins are pretty cool. They got some nice fighting abilities, a little bit of healing, which is important in this game as you might expect. And I think I want to do something maybe a little different here. Dwarves are pretty sweet paladins. I want to make a halfling paladin. I don't know. I like halflings in this game. They look pretty cool. So we got a couple options here. And actually, I guess I can mouse over this again just so you can see our proficiencies. Cloth, light, medium, and heavy armor, and shields, and then simple and martial weapons. And our save proficiencies are wisdom and charisma, which means basically we get a, a bonus to saves that require those stats. Now then, halflings, you can pause and read that if you so choose. But we got a couple sub-races here, and this is a little bit more important. So, plus 2 dex, plus 1 charisma for the Lightfoot, and then naturally stealthy, which is interesting. And then here we have Strongheart, plus 2 dex, plus 1 con, and damage resistance to poison and stout resilience. I don't know what naturally stealthy and stout resilience do exactly. I would have to maybe try to find those on my character sheet or something. But we will be a Strongheart halfling. It seems like a little bit better fit for a paladin and the required stats there. Now we have a lot of different backgrounds that we can actually choose from, and they all do something a little bit different. Give you I believe they all give you a stat bonus. Almost all of them give you a stat bonus. And a nice little passive and some items sometimes. But I think for this particular character, I want to be an Outlander. And I apologize, I'm not going to go through all of these just to kind of keep things moving here. But there's a fair few of these things. Outlander, plus 1 con, minus 2 to all physical damage taken. That's what I'm looking for. And our starting gold is 10. Not so good, but that's okay. There is one over here. The previous one, the Noble, just straight up starts with 800 gold and some fancy food and drink. Just kind of cool, but yeah, there we go. We're going to be an Outlander. Appearance, kind of your standard fare for these types of games nowadays. Do a lot to mess with your face and all that kind of thing. What we can do is actually we can randomize a couple times. Ooh, man, I don't know about that guy. No. Oh, yeah, there we go. This guy looks fucking heroic. Absolutely. Equipment. Now, I'm not really sure if this is just because of the way the Head Start works or what, but like our starting goal doesn't seem to affect our starting equipment options at all. So for example, we can like ditch this, and this is splint armor, which is pretty good, all things considered. It's the best or it's the highest AC armor that we can start with. But I do think that, excuse me, let's see. Jamie Cuirass actually only has a max dex of 0 as well, and a stealth disadvantage. Same with this, as one might expect. Well, that's interesting to know. Anyway, so we're going to stick with our splint armor for sure. But weapons, we could get a shield. The shield only gives us like +1 AC, but it would be kind of cool to be a two-hander type of guy. That's kind of cool. Sword is literally bigger than he is. Great Axe. No, Great Axe actually, that's a good start. It's a good start. But what about Halberd's interesting. What is this? Just a slashing damage. These used to do piercing and slashing, but I guess they kind of simplified things, which is understandable. Long swords are always, one of my favorite type of weapons, just because they always look cool. But somewhere around here, maybe I can't use it because I'm too short. Oh no, there it is. Yeah, look at this. Use a big ass maul. That thing must weigh 200 effing pounds. I swear to God. But yeah, I think we're gonna use a maul. Maul's pretty strong, 3 to 12 bludgeoning damage. And it looks cool for a paladin. This is sort of, I guess, the World of Warcraft paladin look, in a sense, using the big two-handed hammer. But we'll go with that. Now, stats, very important here. We're going to have to think about this and actually read this. So, when making a paladin, focus on strength for physical attacks and charisma for spellcasting. That's kind of important. You can kind of build your characters a couple different ways in this game. You got a glimpse of the abilities just a minute ago. But why don't we... Let's see, we got... I always like to even out my stats. I don't like having the negatives. I don't know how much it really matters, but why don't we... See, we can only get to a 15 charisma. Probably only do a 15 strength? Yeah. So it's not going to matter too terribly much, I don't think. You can actually just do both if we want to get real crazy with it. And then do that to our con, maybe? Our dex isn't really going to do us much good, and wisdom doesn't seem to matter for paladins in this version of the game. So we can just dump a point there extra. For whatever reason, yeah, we can't... I don't know if that's just because of the way halflings are, maybe, or exactly how this works, but we can't put any more, we just even though we had the points, we just can't put any more points into strength or charisma here for some reason, so, I don't know exactly what's going on with that, but, it's fine, it's not that big of a deal, so, we'll let that be as it is. Actually, you know what, maybe we'll not do wisdom. Excuse me, let's put a point into dex in case we find some armor that lets us use our dex for AC at some point. But I doubt that'll happen. Anyway, that's going to do it for our stats. Now then, interesting part of the game for sure. There's like a ton of different skill trees for each class. Some of these are shared between classes. For example, I'm sure that Fighter has great weapon fighting as well, which is two-handed weapons. And I'm sure they have protection. I think Cleric has protection as well. Martial also probably shared between Fighter and Paladin. I think Ranger has it. So there is some overlap, without a doubt. But let's see here. Lockpicking, search. Yeah, this is actually kind of important. So search allows us to detect traps, but getting just one rank gives us a proficiency bonus when we're not actively searching. Actively searching is going to slow us down a bit, and then lockpicking, we can get to be able to disarm traps and pick locks, which is interesting because now pretty much anybody can do those two things. You don't have to have one specific person. As a paladin, we're starting with all the weapons and everything, so we don't need to worry about that. Now I do want to do some healing, and there's one ability in here somewhere. Yeah, Judgment. Don't get it till level 3. But, yeah, so we're going to start with Lay on Hands for sure. Although, actually, there's one thing I want to try over here. I'm going to go over to my summary. And we gotta name this guy something. I don't know, I named my wizard Bibble. I'm going to name this guy Bobble, I guess. That's a very sexual portrait there. Not a lot of options for portraits. You can just kind of get a couple different rotations and stuff. But, I don't know. Sure, why not? Voice,
Might I have a moment of your time? Hello there. Might I have a moment of your time?
Greetings!
not that many voices.
Excuse me. Greetings! Come here a second. Hi! Come here a second.
Listen up. Well met. Listen up.
I kind of feel like
Well met. Very well.
that might be our guy right there. But yeah, like there's not a lot of voices. I wish there were some more, but they do say a fair amount of things sometimes, which is kind of interesting. Now in Forgotten Realms, and I doubt this matters in this game, picking a deity is very important, because if you die in Forgotten Realms, you go to the Wall of the Faithless, my friend, and you are consumed and no longer exist even as a soul. So very important to choose a god of some kind. We'll go with Tempest. That's a god of war, I believe, god of battle. So it seems like a good fit here. Now then, also interesting, paladins no longer have to be lawful good. They are just holy warriors who have taken an oath of some kind. Kind of, I think they grabbed that from possibly Pathfinder. And look, they're also on their way anyway with black guards, and then like there were all kinds of variants for like lawful evil paladins and chaotic good paladins and all that kind of stuff in some of the 3.5 books. So I'm happy that with this change. Let's be chaotic good though. That's 3.5 variant would be called a paladin of freedom or something like that, I believe. But we'll go with that. Now let's get back to our abilities. I'm curious if choosing a god gave us an extra thing here. Avenger, life, war. Yeah, well, I guess we would have had war anyway, wouldn't we? Yeah, that's fine. I guess it doesn't matter. But let's see, Divine Smite. We can't even get these until higher levels, so we're not gonna worry about that too much. Now, Bless is actually a really good ability. Clerics get it as well. Basically, might as well be a permanent +2 or at higher level +4 bonus to saves and attacks, I think, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, we're gonna pick up Lay on Hands here. We can even upgrade it a little bit. It's actually a pretty good upgrade, but I like to try to get some additional abilities here. Charge. I've tried Charge. I haven't had a lot of success with Charge. This one's pretty good though. Victorious Surge. This is going to allow us to heal ourselves with a melee attack, which is pretty useful. And I think I'm going to pick up just this one point in Search, because it will allow me to possibly spot some things when just walking around, rather than having to toggle search mode. So that's kind of useful, I think. So we'll grab that. And yeah, that's going to be our character for the time being. Again, we'll go to our summary here. We're all set, I think. So yeah, when we go to the next episode here, we'll go ahead and actually jump into a game of some kind. I would like to do some multiplayer, but I might do single player just to kind of get us started, because multiplayer, the experience can vary widely depending on who you're playing with. So yeah, maybe we'll try like a solo dungeon crawl just to get things started, and or a one-player dungeon crawl anyway, and then we'll try some multiplayer after that. So yeah, until next time, my name has been Rojo, and thanks for watching.